Thank you, Joe. You know, there's only one important quest that we need to be on this lifetime, and that's to unearth our true selves. You see, any ordinary day and your life could be changed forever. You wake up in the morning, you open your eyes, you jump out of bed, you stumble over the dog if it's our place. You're organizing breakfast, or you're grabbing a coffee, or you're getting the kids ready. But your mind is busy, right? And as you close that front door, you rarely feel a tingle that anything is off about this day. And it's not until retrospect that you look back and you see that ordinary day changed your life forever. Hello, my name's Chris Ross. I'm an emotional well-being coach, motivational speaker, founder of Head to Heart and the beautiful transformational program, Becoming You. So let me ask you a question. Do you know what really changes your life? Have you ever really thought about it? I believe it's three things: making a courageous decision, expanding your comfort zone, and taking actionable steps. Those three things will surely change your life. Can you think of a time when you've had to do that? Can you think of a time when you've had to make a courageous decision? I'll guarantee that there isn't a single woman on this summit today who hasn't had to make a courageous decision at some time in their life. Would I be right? Raise your hand. Let's see you. Yes, look at you. Incredible. Look around. You're in a room full of courageous women. I'd like to share with you today my story of any ordinary day and how it changed my life forever. It's a mother's story. It's my story of bringing Tom home. It's a story of courage and love and stepping into our greatness to save the life of our only son. You see, I'm not a famous sports person or international celebrity. In case you were wondering, I could see you were thinking, no, I was just an ordinary woman who was going about her ordinary day when her life was pivoted 180 degrees with one phone call. It's a story of stepping into our extraordinary to bring our son home from a third world country via an emergency medical evacuation. And it's how after this time, I slipped into a very dark place for many years that left me wondering why. Why Tom? Why us? Why am I even here? What even matters to me anymore? Have you experienced those feelings? Yeah. Well, I want to share with you today too how I've found my way forward to finding that hope and that joy and that possibility, and how this beautiful 6-step program to unearth what really matters to you can change your life too. So let's begin. Let me take you back in time to January 23rd, 2012, a date that is seared into my mind. Our then 20-year-old son, Tom, had gone on his first overseas adventure with two of his really good friends, all young men in their early 20s, so excited for life, for a surfing adventure, for snorkeling. And, Tom had planned the trip meticulously. 3 weeks traveling through Bali, into Sanua, Uluwatu, up into Ubud, and then onto other far-flung surfing sites that they discovered. 1 week into this adventure, we get a phone call from Tom's girlfriend that changed our lives. Maddie rang to say that she just heard from one of the boys traveling with Tom that Tom had had a fall and cut his head pretty bad, and he and Ben had gone by ambulance to a hospital, and at this stage, he has no other information. And we actually have a bit of a laugh because we think, oh, this is so like Tom, he's always falling off his bike or his skateboard or... So, it was just any ordinary day for us back in Brisbane. We were trying to finish off a renovation that had gone over budget and over time. You know that one? Yes. So there wasn't anything that we could do except wait. And by about mid-morning, I thought, something just doesn't feel right. And I feel like we need to find Tom. And meanwhile, back in Bali, they'd taken Tom to the Bali International Hospital. Just another Australian who'd come off the scooter was the initial vibe. But you see, Tom hadn't come off a scooter. The night before, he and his friends had been to a nightclub like all young people are wont to do anywhere in the world, right? Except Tom left the club and he wandered down some steps that he knew would take him to the beach. And along the way, he's lost his footing and he's fallen 6 meters onto a concrete rooftop and passed out. Nobody could find him. And it wasn't until the early hours of the morning that a Balinese lifeguard heard Tom cooing. And with the help of quite a few local men, they were able to get Tom off the rooftop and take him to the resort where he was staying. And they called the ambulance. Meanwhile, back in Brisbane, we had no idea where they had taken Tom, but we just knew that we had to find him. So I rang the Denpasar Hospital. They'd had no Australians arrive that morning. So we rang this Bali International Hospital that we'd never heard of. And an Australian nurse answers the phone and she says, yes, they have Tom. And she takes the phone up to his room. And Tom's friend Ben takes the call. And he tells us of the results of the scans and x-rays that they'd been taking that morning. And he says, Chris, it doesn't look good. Tom has an unstable spinal injury and a massive cut to his head, and he's fading in and out of consciousness. And the doctors are insisting on operating, and I'm not sure what to do. Oh, Ben. So Tom's dad takes the phone and he says, I want to speak to the doctor. So the doctor tells us that Tom has a fracture to his spine and he needs to be operated on straight away. And Pete instinctively tells the doctor, no, I do not give you permission to operate on my son. And the doctor says, well, your son's over the age of 18. He can make up his own mind. And Pete says, no, my son is in no condition to make any decisions right now. I do not give you permission to operate on my son until we've spoken to the travel insurance company and a friend of ours who's a surgeon. Oh, the doctor wasn't happy, but he concedes and he'll wait to hear. So we get off the phone and the first thing we do is call our friend who's a surgeon. He says, Chris, if this diagnosis is correct, the last thing you want is for Tom to be operated on in Bali. It's a specialist job and should only be performed by one. He said, I highly recommend that you do everything that you can to get Tom back to Australia as soon as possible. So here we go. Any ordinary day, just ordinary people having to step into their extraordinary. We find Tom's travel insurance policy. He nearly doesn't take travel insurance. Oh, goodness me, he's 20 years old. What could possibly go wrong, right? And then we call the travel insurance company. They tell us that they'll need to speak to the doctor to establish the extent of Tom's injuries and his physical state before they can decide what needs to be done. So we wait and we wait, not knowing what's going on, not knowing whether Tom has passed away. And finally, we hear back from the travel insurance company. Yes, they're going to help us organize an international emergency medical evacuation. No easy feat at any stage, let alone within the next 6 hours. We are so grateful that they give us the courage to take the next step. Finally, I look around and I see that a small group of family and friends have gathered to support us. And I'm so grateful. I have no idea how they know or where they've come from, but I'm so happy that they're there. By this time, it's like 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. It's been a very long day. And I slip away and I walk into our room and I scream into my pillow. I cannot believe that this is happening to us, to Tom, as I have this dawning realization that life may have changed irrevocably for our beautiful young man. Throughout the night, I sit up and I talk to the emergency evacuation team, and they inform me as the Medivac team leave Australia, when they arrive in Bali, when they see Tom. And then through the night, things change for Tom. They say he'll have to fly straight to Perth because he may not survive a longer trip. So amazingly, we are booked on the next flight out of Brisbane to Perth. We have to pack. We have 2 hours or 3 hours to get ready for a trip we don't want to take. How do you pack up for the uncertainty that was now our life? How do you pack up and leave your daughter, your family, your home, your pets? How long will we be away? And you know what? Nothing else matters in that moment. Just any ordinary day, just ordinary people, and our lives have been pivoted 180 degrees. The next morning, we leave Brisbane, texting friends and family to let them know what's happened. And, 5 hours later, we arrive in Perth in an absolute daze. I haven't thought about the next step. Can you believe it? I'm just following everybody to the baggage pickup area, and I look around and I see this man holding a sign with my name on it, Christine Ross. And I think, oh my goodness, the emergency team have thought of everything. They've thought of our transportation, our accommodation near the hospital where they'll be sending Tom, and they take us to the hospital. And we ask, have they heard of a medevac arrival today? They've heard of nothing. They just say, go and wait in the waiting room. So we go and we sit and we wait for hours until finally we see an ambulance arrive, and they bring out a young man. It looks like Tom. He's heavily bandaged, and we tentatively walk up to him, and he looks up and he says, "Oh, Mum, I'm so sorry." Oh, yeah. It takes hours to stabilize him, and it isn't until the early hours of the morning that one of us is able to slip away. And I walk back to our hotel room, and when I shut the door, I fall to the ground. I'm still holding all of Tom's clothes in my hands, the smell of him, and I cry uncontrollably, and it's messy. And I realize the enormity of Tom's injuries, the day that just was, and the incredible changes that are happening to our life. The next few weeks are just madness, one thing after another, as Tom's body starts to shut down from this incredible trauma to his body. He can't be left alone for 1 minute. One of us is always with him. It's like a daze. We're in a bubble. You know that feeling? And then, we read stories to Tom about people who have recovered from broken backs. We're so positive for him. We're going to do whatever it takes to get Tom back on his feet. That's us, right? Finally, Tom is well enough to have his spine operated on. A team of professional doctors have been called in for this incredible operation. It's 6 hours until it's finished. So we gather in Tom's room the next morning, all excited for this news from this incredible team of doctors. The head surgeon walks in. He's very blunt and factual. He just says, Tom will never walk again, but he is one of the lucky ones. It could have been so much worse, he says. What? We are all just shocked into silence. Hot tears start to pour down my face again. And I look at Tom, and he's being so courageous for us. Tom's girlfriend hasn't faltered in her determination to support and love Tom through this life-changing injury. She stands by him. Eventually, everybody has to return to Brisbane, and it's just Tom and I. And Tom throws himself into the rehabilitation process with a determination that's absolutely inspiring. And finally, 3 months later, he is well enough to fly home. They organise a medical transfer from Perth to Brisbane Hospital. Finally, we are on our way home. Finally, the pilot announces our descent into Brisbane. Family and friends gathered to meet us. We are home, not the same as we all left, but we are home. And yes, we've been to the edge and back. And yes, we are one of the lucky ones. Any ordinary day, just ordinary people finding their extraordinary. After this time, I slip into a very dark place for many years. Can you imagine? My life has taken a complete left turn, and I have no idea how to find my way back. I was just running on autopilot. Do you know that feeling? You know, you're looking great on the outside, but on the inside, you're just hollow. Nothing really matters anymore. You have no idea what's important, where you're going. Have you felt that feeling? Have you felt that? You don't have to have experienced a life-changing event like I went through to feel that sense of loss or lost or overwhelm or exhaustion or just going through the motions of life. You know, I was fortunate enough to find a beautiful coach who saved my life. She helped me because, you know, that's true. I believe that we can't heal ourselves by ourselves. We can't get ourselves to the next level or break through our own glass ceiling with the same mind that got us to that space, right? Would you agree? Yes. You know, and it was on the reflection that she had me looking back and going, well, who was that woman? Where is she now? What rose up within you? And, you know, I realized that I had to peel back those layers of all of those unconscious, conditioned thoughts that I'd been brought up with, you know, and I had to unearth my why, my own entality, my potential again. And it was during that time that I created Head to Heart, where I took my pain and turned it into my passion to help other women. And I created the beautiful program Becoming You, which was the same steps that changed my life to finding more joy, more hope, and more possibility. You know, because when we have emotional well-being, when we are emotionally strong, everything changes for us. Our lives, our friendships, our careers, our business ideas, our creativity, everything opens up. It's like the law of abundance. And it's, you know, 80% of people know they have a problem, but only 20% of us take actionable steps to make that happen. Only 20% will make a courageous decision, expand their comfort zones, and take actionable steps, just like you have in the past, beautiful one. Think about that. Think about that courageous decision, how you expanded your comfort zone, how you took those actionable steps. It's possible for you to change your life. It's possible. It's like, it always reminds me of that story of the dog lying on the veranda who howls every now and then. The neighbor says to its owner, what is wrong with your dog? And he goes, oh, he just lays on that nail every day, you know, because why doesn't he move? Well, you know, it's not that uncomfortable just yet. Do you know that feeling where you're just living with uncomfortable comfortability? Yes, so many of us are just going through the motions, feeling the disconnect, feeling invisible, feeling not enough. You know the ones. You're too tall, you're too skinny, you're too smart, you're not smart enough, you'll never amount to anything. We've all got them like sticky notes all over our back. You know, when you know what really matters to you, when you unearth the truth of who you are, you take back your power. You take back your power to live life on your terms, and you begin to find that joy and that hope, and life opens up to all those possibilities, to that love life that you've been wanting, or to bring more love into a relationship you're already in, or take that creative pursuit, or change careers, or take on that new job within that career, or start that business that you've always wanted, or take your business to that next level. That's what this 6-step, beautiful, transformational program, Becoming You, will do for you. So, beautiful ladies, Jo and I have put together an incredible package for all of the women who are attending here today. You know, I normally charge $997 for this package, but for all the beautiful, worthy women here today, your investment is $397, is all that you need to spend on a program, on a journey that's going to change your life. with other incredible women who are all going to be there championing you on, letting you see the truth of who you are in a safe, nurturing environment. And, you know, I'm going to donate $50 from every person who joins this program to Spinal Cure Australia. So not only are you going to make an investment in yourself, you're also going to be investing in helping this incredible organization find a cure for this life-changing injury. So ladies, there's also a payment plan. So there's absolutely no reason why you can't rise into your greatness in 2024. Find your courage, make that courageous decision, expand your comfort zone, and take the actionable steps for you, for you. Thank you for holding this space for me today. I know that you're going to continue to rise into your courage with all of the other beautiful speakers on this summit today, and I look forward to seeing you in becoming you in 2024. Thank you, beautiful souls.